Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with match number 1 with 8 rack for our playing on a budget. Yes, we'd like to play first. This deck actually doesn't really care too much about playing first or second. I think this is barely keepable because of the Raven's Crime making these redundant lands actually be discard spells. So we're going to go ahead and keep this. And we'll go ahead and start off with the Shrieking Affliction. You do want to just have one of these in your opening hand. Sometimes two is good. Like, I've been able to erase aggro decks after they've established pretty good board presence. Like Boggles, I've been able to race with 2 Shrieking Afflictions just because you empty their hand and they help you empty. Aggro decks help empty their own hand, and then Shrieking Affliction starts dealing damage pretty quickly. So we'll start off with that Shrieking Affliction. And then pass the turn to our opponent. Now, 8-Rack has a lot of really good matchups where you're heavily favored, but you also have a lot of matchups where you're not favored. Typically the blue-red decks are one of those decks that is rough for 8-Rack because they have ways to fill back up their hand. A lot of card advantage to cards like Cryptic Commands and Electrolyzes. So it doesn't look like it's like a first-turn Delver, though, so that's nice. The Disfigure might end up being a dead card if it's like just the bigger Tassigure. I mean, we can always Disfigure a Snapcaster Mage later on. We'll throw out the rack. We want him to get under the 3 or less cards to start dealing damage as soon as possible. Is this the hand we do want to race? So it's just going to be a Raven's Crime. And make him discard a card. We do need to draw into the Wrench Mines are the best card to get ahead. Like, this is where Sign of Blood would be kind of nice. See if he's going to Thought Scar himself and he finds a Young Pyromancer, so we could actually have to deal with the Tassigure here, which is not what we want to be doing. Our deck is actually pretty bad versus Tassigure because we don't have the Dismembers, and there's really no way to deal with it besides the Victim of Night. We'll probably need to bring in Drown in Sorrows for Young Pyromancer. He's going to Thought Scar himself again. Murderous Cut. Didn't find any lands there in the bin. It's just all... Yeah, I hope it's not a Tassigure. And it looks like it's going to be an Angler or a Tassigure. Because we need to get him out of cards as soon as possible. That is actually a really good hand, good card here. So we'll Wrench Mind him. And I think we will drop our Mutavault. I'm not quite sure if I want to get him down to 1. Yeah, I think we have to race. Well, what does he do next turn? We can keep both of our lands in our hand. I think we'll stick at 3 because if we do draw into a Gatekeeper, we can make him sack that. So we will throw the Swamp out, and I will Raven's Crime back and discard the Mutavault. And now he's down to 1, so he's going to be taking damage this turn. He's going to be taking 5 from the 8-Rack. So the race is on. We do have 2 Victims, I believe, in the deck, and 4 Malakirs and 2 Verdicts. Yeah, we're actually pretty decent here. But I'm not liking to see the Young Pyromancer because that's going to be a card that I probably need to bring in. Well, maybe not. Maybe we can keep Disfigures. Or Drown's probably just better than Disfigure, though. So see if he just wants to keep things in his hand. I don't think we have many dead draws. Yeah, that's probably going to be his line of play, is not cast anything. Unless he has like another Angler. Alright, he's going for it. He's in his Snapcaster Mage for a Serum Visions, which will draw him a card. So we can get rid of the Snapcaster Mage. Kolaghan's Command is going to be good against the rack. Thought about even adjusting this 8-Rack into a Grixis based deck Just force. Yeah, you get some really cool cards with like Snapcaster and Counter Squall. So, yep, it's going to be Serum Visions. He'll be able to cast the Serum Visions. But if we draw into a card that can make him discard... Oh, he's actually going to Forked Bolt me. I think that's bad. He needed cards in hand. He can't race here. I think that's what he's trying to do, is hit perfect. He'll be able to do 7 damage next turn. But we'll go ahead and Disfigure off that Snapcaster. And now he's just dead. That was a perfect draw. So we can Disfigure. I'm going to do it right now before he has the chance to draw into any... Oh, that is a zombie. That is a zombie. My Victim of Night does not take care of the Angler. So he's going to take 5 here, though. Or 6 on his upkeep. And it's going to be hard for him to really dish off enough damage. Yeah, even if he keeps a card in his hand, he'd have to get, like, multiple. There we go. Alright, so Victim does not take care of... I think we'll take out the Victims. I mean, it takes care of Tasigur, but it doesn't take care of much else. Surgical Extraction actually does seem pretty good in this matchup. I'm going to bring in the Leyline of the Void, just because he does use his... And the Nihil Spellbombs are better. I think Drown in Sorrow takes care of both Snapcasters and also takes care of the Young Pyromancer. But Illness the Ranks also takes care of Young Pyromancer. I'm wondering if that's the only card, though. I think I'd rather have a Bile Blight, because that at least can take care of Delvers, Snapcasters. Verdicts are... See, it's so weird how when they diversify their damage package through Young Pyromancers, and so big beefy guys like the Angler and then Young Pyromancers that flood the board, it makes it really hard for like this particular deck to react to. And I think we might just want Drown in Sorrows. Not quite even sure about the Smothers or the Victims. They just don't kill them enough things. The Gatekeepers are fine, and so are the Geth Verdicts. But the thing is, what makes Geth Verdicts so bad, it becomes tough for us to... Yeah, I think the Drown in Sorrows can go. We have Funeral Charm that can get rid of the Young Pyromancer before it gets any value. And Verdicts are just strictly better than... I'm thinking actually Brain Maggot might just want to go here. He has like Forked Bolts, but he might just be removing every one of his... He'll keep in Lightning Bolts. Verdicts, Spellbombs, Drown in Sorrows are still... Maybe I want a 1 of Drown in Sorrow. Sun Droplets actually seem pretty good here. Well, I'm going to keep this lineup. This seems like a pretty decent hand. I think I'm going to keep it. Our opponent had to mulligan his first turn again. So we don't have our win condition. We do have the Mutavault, which is kind of a win condition. And if he goes like first turn Delver, yeah, we'll just kill that guy. Delver's actually very weak versus this deck with a deck full of like Disfigures and Funeral Charms. So that's what makes Funeral Charm so versatile. It can kill a 1-drop like a Birds of Paradise or a Delver. No Young Pyromancer, so that's good. I think we will Spellbomb and just pass the turn. Because then if he tries a Thought Scour, I think we do just use it. We have a Funeral Charm. I'm keeping the black man up because we do want to draw a card off the Spellbomb. He's going to bolt me. Yeah, it's fine. He's down to 3 cards. I mean, that's fine. I'm actually liking the bolt on me because it's... Alright, so Serum Visions. He still can't Tasigur here. But I will be Spellbombing. And he's down to 3 cards. And we will pay the black to get rid of a Bolt in the center of vision, so it makes the Snapcasters a lot worse. And here we will just crime him out. I could have waited on the Nihil Spellbomb, I guess, for the Raven's Crime. I might need to actually play Mutavault too. Alright, so Tasigur. And we'll discard this Swamp. The Thought Scour. And then I do think I want to... just Funeral Charm. Yeah, we'll just Funeral Charm away his last card. It's got to be better. Yeah, it had to be better than a Tasigur or a Thought Scour, so... he's down to 0 cards. We have a Mutavault next turn that can come out that can still tap for a black. And so now he's into top deck mode, which is just a land. And we can Funeral Charm away his draw next turn. And there's a Gatekeeper. That's going to be good. So this is what makes Funeral Charm so good. So we go to the draw step and make him discard it. And it's a Terminate. Yeah, that would have got rid of my Mutavault, so that was good. And now it's just the Mutavault's the other win condition in here, another Gatekeeper. So we will just start attacking in and pinging his life down. And we should be good against any draw. Like Kolaghan's Commands would be the worst draw for us. Or for us to face with because he can get back like a Tasigur. And if he's got another Lightning Bolt and kills off the Mutavault, that just happens. He does not. So Mutavault's at least got in there for 4. We can rely on the Geth's Verdict doing 1 damage. And it's just this slow grind now. This is why Liliana becomes really good. I think we will Bog rather than... yeah, I'm going to Bog here. If it's a Snapcaster, you just got to use that for a Thought Scour. Which he's got to use right now, which then exiles whatever else is in his graveyard. Which is an Angler and a Vision. So now the Bog still gets rid of all of that. We'll Verdict. And then activate the Mutavault. And attacking for 2. So now he's down to a 10. We still have a lot of control up. He's got no graveyard. He has 2 cards in hand, though. Angler's gone. Tasker's gone. If he casts a creature, we'll Gatekeeper. Yeah, I think I'll just Disfigure that. Because he does have cards like Mana Leak. We'll Raven's Crime first. Oh, we got a Snapcaster, so it's got to be better than a Snapcaster. Disfigure on the Delver. And then, once again, activate the Mutavault. And attack in. He's down to an 8. Pretty much have this game controlled. Double Snapcaster in the graveyard, 2 Delvers in the graveyard. Not a lot of win conditions left. He might have decided out the Young Pyromancers. There's the Shrieking Affliction. attacking the Mutavault. And he does have the Terminate, that's fine. Because now he can Shrieking Affliction. If he has a mana leak, though, yeah, wow. Maybe I should wait on that. Okay. So, now we're still in the top deck mode. Yeah, it's got to be an Angler because he'd leave up... No, he couldn't leave up Tasker mana. I believe this will be his last Angler. There's one in the graveyard. Usually they run like 2 and 2. Oh, it's a Tasker. So Tasker, he could have another Angler. But now he's got to sack the Tasker. And can't Raven's Crime away anything. We will, though. Like, I think you just start keeping up. Alright, just a young Pyromancer, which he can't... We'll cast the other Gatekeeper. So he is getting some good... Yeah, we'll Geth's Verdict here. Instead of Gatekeeper. Actually, Gatekeeper probably would have been better. Would have added another power on board here. Kolaghan's Command would still be like the worst draw for us. We will get it out of his hand with the Raven's Crime no matter what. Snapcaster Terminate. For the Gatekeeper. And now we have to go the other Gatekeeper and see if he can just draw a land for once in a... I mean, he's drawn some very powerful cards. Answer, and we're out now of... He could actually top deck his way out of this, which needs to be a Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, Thoughtseize was terrible. He just gets a Wrench Mind. I don't think you play it. Nihil Spellbomb is definitely the nail in the coffin. Gets rid of all of that. Juice in the graveyard. He's down to a 1. Can we finish this game off? And we can't, actually. But he's got a block, so the Young Pyromancer will be out of the way. Jeez. I can't believe he's still in this. And we're into top deck mode. He could actually... He could still win this, which is the sad part. Yeah, Engineer Explosives actually does deal with There's a Mutavault, though. That was a perfect draw. So he has one draw. It needs to be a creature. And whew, finally finished that off. And then that was a pretty good job by the deck controlling the Grixis deck. And that's one of our harder matchups. So you can see how much card advantage through cards like Young Pyromancer, Tassiger, anything that can get that back in the game. Anyway, we'll go on to match number 2. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Playing on a Budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Gathering Magic and check out our Playing on a Budget playlist, which contains every episode. Thanks again and hope to see you soon.